Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about the recent developments and risk of further escalation over there. We'll start with a quick recap of events from over the last week, and then talk about the most recent developments, the possibility of further responses and reactions from various actors in the region, and what they might look like, and how all of this factors into the possibility of wider escalation across the region. Okay, so in recent weeks, a series of operations that were conducted by the Israeli military in Lebanon and have landed devastating blows on one of the most powerful non-state actors in the region, Hezbollah. The operations have disrupted the leadership structure of the organization. That organization is heavily influenced, advised, and financed by Iran. During the operation that took out the organization's top leader, Nasrallah, an Iranian general was also killed. There are reports of other low-ranking Iranian advisors being injured or lost during the various operations conducted by the Israeli military. A few days ago, we talked about how Iran is likely to respond in some way and some fashion, but unlikely to press to a full confrontation. That response has occurred. Iran launched a number of ballistic missiles towards Israel. Estimates of the number of missiles range from, quote, dozens to almost 200. Our best information says the number is closer to 200 than the other estimates available. The U.S. Navy acted to help intercept the missiles. Best information at time of recording says the missile barrage was largely ineffective. It's early and these numbers may change, but right now the reports indicate some injuries that were described as light in Israel, and there is some early suggestion of a Palestinian civilian in the West Bank who was injured more severely. There will certainly be questions about that. The simplest and most likely explanation is that it was unintentional. Iran is incredibly unlikely to have targeted that area. On top of this, there are disputed reports of cross-border raids by Israel, along with reports of missiles fired by Hezbollah. There was also an in-person attack conducted in Israel. There are multiple and conflicting reports as to which non-state actor was behind the attack, but it is certainly linked to the ongoing escalation. So, what happens from here? If the missile barrage was as ineffective as is being reported, Netanyahu could opt to launch a token response against Iran and stop the temperature from continuing to climb. The alternatives are an open strike aimed at degrading Iranian capabilities, which is the riskiest option when it comes to escalation. Or it may opt to engage in covert activities as a response. Iran seems unlikely to push further in its response to losing its general, as moving beyond this might create an open conflict with Israel, which is not something the Iranian government actually wants. Hezbollah is likely to continue their missile attacks until a ceasefire is reached. Another player that isn't often mentioned that might become important are Iranian-aligned militias in Iraq, who may see the U.S. assisting in intercepting the missiles fired from Iran as justification to launch operations against U.S. troops in Iraq. It's unlikely that Iran would want them to do this, but despite coverage to the contrary, not all of the groups in Iraq take operational orders from Tehran. This is all occurring against the backdrop of Gaza. Even though diplomats and envoys from pretty much every group or country mentioned, with the exception of the militias in Iraq, are trying to stop the conflict from turning into a regional war. The risk is heightened. The only thing that will fully reduce the risk of wider war is a ceasefire agreement over Gaza. From there, the temperature across the region can be brought back down quickly. That agreement seems as far away as it ever has been, and the region sits the way the entire world did during the Cold War. 2 mistakes by opposing sides, 2 miscalculations by opposing sides, occurring at the same time could be devastating. We'll continue to follow the developments and provide updates as we can. If not here, they'll be over on the second channel. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.